Oh man. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Welcome back to Screen Fiend, and this is the movie review for Chaos Walking. Now, this movie stars Tom Holland and it stars Daisy Ridley as Rey. You know her from Rey from Star Wars. Now, that film could make and break a career. And it looked as if it had pretty much broken the career. Because this movie is a huge disaster. And it's good for them. The movie theaters are kind of condensed in the pandemic. It could go straight to video because this, wow. Now, Chaos Walking or whatever was made about, I would say, about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the main problem is so many people, and I mean so many of them, are caught into a casting web. Like people have to cast people because of certain people who are attached to the project. Like Doug Lyman, like became the guy who took over it. Another guy who had this beforehand, and I guess he just took himself out completely. Christopher Ford did a screenplay. You had like Patrick Ness come and do a screenplay for the film, and it was a mess. This is a prime example of what a good concept starting off can end up being a nightmare. Now, the story is about this woman played by Daisy Ridley. She's in space. She lands on a planet, a habitable planet. I guess they were looking for a habitable planet. I guess Earth became too dangerous or whatever. So they were looking for a habitable planet to land on. And once she lands on this planet, she runs into a land, and it's nothing but males on this land. And they have what they call, only the males have it. It's called the noise. And they can only hear, like your thoughts are on display for everybody to hear. And you could use it to project everything in your mind. It's like a movie screen over your head, and they can see everything in your mind. So some people can hide their noise, but some people can't. Like Tom Holland's character, he has a hard time hiding his noise. You could use your noise to make traps or set things up or make illusions. And another person could see it and think it's reality. Now, Nick Jonas was in this movie, I think, from the Jonas Brothers. I think he was in this thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, Nick Jonas is in this movie. And this was based on a book called The Knife of Never Letting Go. So this was going to be one of those books that start off a trilogy. So everybody was all excited about that. And Mads Mikkelsen was in here. And everybody's like, oh man, Mads Mikkelsen is in this. This thing is going to be great. And he played his title was the mayor, and Nick Jonas was his son. And they ran the town, and, he found the spaceship. And he went and told them about it, Tom Holland's character. And they kind of like live to themselves in the farm. They go out farm, but he wants to do more. He wants an adventure. So now, guess what? Adventure falls in his lap. Girl runs away. He goes and tracks the girl down. The girl starts living in his, you know, in his barn. She starts a motorcycle, some space motorcycle that they have, and she takes off as they go. Now, my thing is, if they built this in their garage, why they don't have something like this? Why are they all riding horses? I mean, it was a lot of missing parts, and this is like you could tell like there's no flow. The movie does not flow well together at all. It's like cut scenes, cut scenes, cut scenes. Daisy Ridley's character don't really speak for a large portion of while she first lands there. She's not really talking, and then she just abruptly starts talking to, and that's like why was that done? Why was she wasn't talking? There's so many, you got more questions about what happened before all of this happened that never really gets explained. It's like, okay, but why? Like, why would they, be at it with these other creatures that live there? Like, they didn't, it's like so much potential to tap into, and they didn't even scratch the surface. Somebody had a great concept and screwed it up. Somebody years later will redo this a whole different way and make a way more engaging film. And people are going to be like, this is what Chaos Walking was supposed to be like. Because this was a great concept. They could have did a lot of things to play off that somebody could actually see their thoughts and everything else. And the Daisy Ridley connection with Tom Holland, it just wasn't believable. I mean, it wasn't. They just like had zero chemistry. It was like, why would she even care about him? Is the way she was treating him through the whole thing, and the process, it was just not there, and it's missed this mark completely. So I guess they realized this when they test shot it and did it a few years back. People were like not liking the film at all and was confused by it, so they decided to go into an immediate rewrites. Like, yo, we got to rewrite this. We got to get this thing done, the right way. And sure enough, they decided, hey, we need to go ahead and get this part of the game taken care of. And it's just, it's really difficult when you think about it because it shows you about the film process and the film industry. People have a hard time making a adjustment and doing reshoots, and they filmed this movie in Canada. So when they filmed it in Canada, then they realized they were going to have to redo it. They couldn't just go back to Canada. They didn't have the budget for the reshoots. So they did it in like August of 2017 to 2017 of November. So when they did this, like I said, it was about 3 years ago when they were, when they finished this up. I think this was before, what's that, the last Skywalker movie came out. Then after the fact, they had to go back and reshoot it 2 years later. Back in April of 2019 to May of 2019, and this movie still sat on the shelf. And people were like, "This movie's never coming out." And it now watching it, you're like, "Oh, I see why this movie should have never come out. It is bad." And I'm like, my goodness, I've given this movie 1.5 stars out of 4. Tried to get it to 2. But this movie, and that's basically off the concept. This movie missed so many marks. And I don't even know what direction Doug Lyman had to go with, but he probably is like, look, I'm directing what they got, what I got to work with, because whoever written this, they probably don't have no more budget for a rewrite. Like, this is what they want to shoot, so I'm out of here. Because that's terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible film. That's my thoughts of Chaos Walking. Missed opportunity. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page, and yes, the Justice League review is coming. We will do that live stream. I'm out.